Russia is, was, and always has been a conservative land steeped in tradition and run by an autocracy much like this one. Sir, there are people here for you. Kill them. Yes, sir. And was until the 1860s bound to serfdom.
Land forever or something.
Pogroms or attacks on Jews were very frequent, as it was the style of the day to hate them.
So yeah, I guess it's a good thing no one knows we're Jewish, huh?
You are what's wrong with our country.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, on the battlefront, Russia had also gone to war with Japan over colonial disputes. The results of the land war were not good. The results of the naval war were not much better. With their whole Pacific fleet sunk, Russia sailed their Baltic fleet to the Pacific to try again. The results were much the same. At this time, Russia also entered an alliance with Great Britain and France known as the Triple Entente, which would end up dragging all three countries into World War I. Oui. Connaissez la Russie. Good point, Frenchie. Welcome aboard, Russia. Russia's international affairs couldn't get much worse, but... Meanwhile, in Russia... You may be wondering why I've called you here today. Well, we are at war and we are starving. I have an idea, so hear me out on it. We petitioned the Tsar for peace and bread and end the war. Peace and bread. 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 This can only end well for us. Little did they know how wrong they were. Sir, the people outside want peace and bread. Shoot them. Right away, sir. The following massacre, called Bloody Sunday, sparked the 1905 revolution and the creation of a parliamentary body called the Duma to keep it from happening again. Meanwhile, in the Winter Palace, Grigory Rasputin, a bizarre, self-proclaimed faith healer, came to control the government by manipulating the Tsarina under the guise that he was able to heal her child's hemophilia.
Hey baby, how about you and me share the people's bed tonight? You remind me of somebody. Do you like communism? I like communism.
I propose a toast. Drink up. Rasputin was later very brutally assassinated. In March of 1917, with the people angry at the current state of the Tsarist regime, Tsar Nicholas II was forced to abdicate the throne, and a provisional government with Alexander Kerensky at its head was installed in his leave. This event became known as the March Revolution. Meanwhile, high above the rest of Europe, in exile in Switzerland, Vladimir Lenin wrote his April Theses, which outlined a violent revolution in which the workers would overthrow the provisional government. With the assistance of councils of workers known as the Soviets and the leadership of Leon Trotsky, the provisional government was overthrown and a new government was installed with Vladimir Lenin at its head. This event became known as the November Revolution. Shortly after the November Revolution, Russia dropped out of World War I. Under the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk, Russia lost a great deal of territory along the Baltic Sea in exchange for ending World War I. However, there were bigger problems at home. The communist Reds were beating back the anti-communist Whites, and even though the Reds were severely outnumbered, they still managed to end all of their battles in something like this. Partly due to the effective policy of war communism, which guaranteed the Red Army supplies in the event of war.
And here you go. And here you go. And here you go.
The Red
And
Army
here
was
you
pretty
go.
big.
And here you go.
The citizens at home were terrified! To keep the revolution alive, the Bolshevik
All I'm
secret
saying
police
is that
known as the
communism
Cheka
isn't
rooted
that
out and
great.
killed any and
Yeah,
all
at
who
least
spoke
not
out
this
against
place.
communism and the new
Well,
regime.
I'm gonna go home. What about you, Tree? What do you think about communism?
I don't like it much. I'm just gonna go home now. I think I'll run.
So, do you have enough food to eat tonight?
These people made the mistake of assuming the Cheka could not hear them.
Shame. Your kids were like,
By this point in time, the revolution was over and the Reds have emerged victorious. Vladimir Lenin ruled the Soviet Union until his death in 1924 and implemented the new economic policy, which is basically war communism with little to no private industry. Leon Trotsky remained commander of the Red Army until his death. Grigory Rasputin died rather early in the revolution.
Wonderful evening, my dear. Just slap your hands out. That's a candle. Don't no.
Alright. Welcome.